That is so nice. So it is 6:45 on Sunday morning and it is hot. It's very hot. It was a very warm night and it's going to be up to sort of 30 Celsius in some parts of the UK over the next couple of days. So if you're someone like me, I actually don't mind the heat. However, I know some people absolutely hate it. And really, it's probably not the best weather to kind of exercise in. But obviously, a lot of people look outside and go, that looks great. So I want to kind of look at 10 ways today where you can continue to exercise but also stay safe while exercising in high heat, because it can be very dangerous and people can collapse in this sort of weather. Even just sitting on the beach can be dangerous. So today we're going to look at 10 ways, 10 strategies that I recommend to stay safe while exercising in the heat. Hopefully, if anyone is considering doing these, they'll put them into practice. But yeah, let's kind of crack on with the first ones. I've just left, so it's just gone to 7 o'clock. And yeah, really my first tip is just to get out early if you can. Obviously, if not, try and go out last thing in the day if you've got work in the morning or whatever. But just by getting out at this time, it's not sunny yet. But obviously, even if it was, the sun would be much lower, temperatures would be a lot cooler. And one thing I like, someone who likes their running, it's not as busy, so you've got a bit more room as well to stretch your legs. But really it's more to do with the heat. It's just much more comfortable at this time, and I find it sets your day up right if you get out early as well. But in terms of just for staying cool, by getting out early, as I said, lower temperatures, sun's not as high, and it's just a lot more comfortable. With a lovely little breeze this morning, so yeah, it's probably the most important thing I'd say. If it's going to be a heat wave, get yourself out early. Right, on to the next one. Obviously, as I was saying, it's actually not sunny here at the minute. But the second one is wear a cap. Now, this is something I learned from the Ultra that I did recently. One of the tips that one of the experts said on the videos when I was looking before the event was that by wearing a cap, whether it's sunny or not, it's still quite bright around, and squinting tires you. And the last thing you want to do when it's really hot is, waste energy. And it's very true. If you start squinting all day, it's actually really tiring. So yeah, definitely recommend wearing a cap. Obviously, it gives you a bit of shade on your face as well. That'll make you feel cooler if it is a really intense day. So if you are having to go out, near lunchtime, and it will just stop you from squinting. And yeah, I have to say, I've never considered that before in the sort of 12, 13 years I've been running. But I wear a cap a lot now. And yeah, I definitely think that works. So it's just a little one, that something you may not consider. Wear a cap, it'll stop you from squinting, and obviously it'll just keep you cooler in general. Okay, so the third one is plan your route. And there's kind of two sections to this really. The first one is sort of to stay local. So normally I might run out and back and do, say, 5 miles out, 5 miles back. Today I'm kind of doing more loops. So I might do sort of 2.5 mile loops, for example, sort of back to the house and out again in like a figure of 8. And the reason that is rather than me having to bring a spare top or a load of water, it just means I can drop home if I need to. Because if you carry a backpack on you, with you, the water bottles and the clothing, whatever you're taking, yeah, it just makes you hot as well. So, you don't really want that excess stuff, even though it's good to bring it, if you're doing a really, really long run. If you're just doing a sort of run from home and you're not, training for a race or at a race, I just find that's more effective. So yeah, I would say that's the first thing, just stay local, do some loops if you need to. Maybe a bit boring, but it's worth it if you don't need to bring a bag then. And then the other reason, or the other thing, is obviously not everyone can maybe run from their house, just because it may not be suitable. And if that's the case, my advice would be let someone know where you're going. And the reason I say that is, and I'll show you later, safety is really important. And you know, if you go somewhere where, you know, you're a bit further out and say you get into a bit of trouble, you feel dizzy or something happens, someone might know where to find you then. So if the worst case scenario happens, you're fainted or whatever, you know, heat exhaustion or you feel dizzy, you know, just let someone know if you're not running from home, roughly where you're running, especially if it's like off-road under the woods or whatever, the sort of built-up area. And in that case, take a phone and also an ID band, which I will show you a little bit later on when I'm back from a run. Now the fourth one might be a bit controversial, but I would say avoid sun cream to start with. Now obviously, between 11 and 3, that's probably when the sun is at its highest and you're most likely to burn. And if you're running at that time, I think you need to wear it. You do not want to burn. But I think when it's early and when it's late, your chances of getting burnt are far less. And obviously if you're going at that time, you want to let yourself sweat naturally. Your sweat is your cooling mechanism. At the end of the day, that's what's going to help you cool down. And if you put sun cream on, and it's brilliant that they are, but they're all waterproof. So if you go in the sea or whatever, it doesn't come off. And for me, I find it blocks your pores. And especially when you're getting hot and stuff, the last thing you want to do is feel like you're getting, you know, blocked up and you can't sweat properly. And you know what it's like when you've been at the beach all day and the first thing you want to do is just get that sun cream off. And I find for exercise, it just makes you feel too hot, too sweaty. I tend to find you don't burn on your legs anyway as well. So again, my advice would be, if you're going early or late, avoid the sun cream. If you're running all day, you're doing like an ultra, or you're going to be running into that sort of lunchtime heat, then definitely take it with you. But if you can start without it, let your body naturally sweat, I think you'll be grateful for it. So yeah, avoid sun cream just to start with. Have it on you if you're running into the heat later on. I'm about to play my new favourite game. There's a seagull that's obviously very protective of its young at the minute near where I live. And every time I run by it, it tries to poo on my head. So the game is, can I avoid getting pooed on the head? Currently, I'm 2-0. I'm winning 2-0. So let's see if he gets me today. I can see him and I can hear him. He's going to swoop over my head in a minute. Can you hear him? Okay, so that's 11 miles done. Yeah, I'm not too sweaty actually, even though it is pretty sort of humid. I could be worse, but it is important now before I walk to the gym and then do a workout at the gym as well that I hydrate. And I really recommend not gulping water. That's the first thing, because you just flush your system out. But definitely buying some of these sort of things. So these are called High 50 Protect, but Science in Sport or whatever do them. Essentially, they're electrolyte tablets, and what they have in it is things like magnesium, potassium, sodium. Essentially, try and get your salt back. And yeah, just replenish your electrolytes that you lose through sweat. So all you do, you can take 1 or 2 of these for 500 ml. I've filled this up with water, pop that in, and it just fizzes up. And then this one's orange flavour. You get a nice sort of orange squash sort of drink. So yeah, definitely recommend these. Have 2 a day. And yeah, it sounds a bit horrible, but it kind of keeps your wee clear. Because yeah, as you know, if you keep yourself, or if you set yourself back and you don't keep on top of it, you'll get headaches and yeah, you'll be suffering all day. Another one you can do, and you can get specialist cooling towels for this, but just wetting a towel, putting it around your neck, it's not something I really like to do because it makes me feel really cold, but that is the whole point of this, to keep cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly put this under the tap. And then I'm going to put it on the back of my neck. Ooh.
but I can feel that's horrible at the moment. But I have to say, it's very cooling. So yeah, just a little bit of water just around your neck, and then if you keep doing that every time it sort of warms up again, I can guarantee you will feel a lot cooler. That's the main place to do it. But also, anything you can do to maybe keep your wrists cold, just those sort of things. Even your chest, there's certain sprays you can get, or like oils and gels you can rub in to keep your chest cool as well. So anything like that, any cooling sort of methods, but honestly, just a little towel, bit of water around your neck, it will feel so much better, I promise you. Honestly, I'm obsessed with buttermints, I really am. So yeah, these are the other things I was about. Sports ID bands. Now I'm not showing you the inside because that's already got all my details in. Well, not my details, it's got my parents' contact details. And essentially, say I fainted or anything out on a run, it would just mean that someone could just see, oh, I've got an ID band on, call my parents. Obviously, call an ambulance first if you ever see anyone collapse. But it just means then they can be informed quickly so they know where you are. So let them know where you're running. But if anything does happen, obviously you've prepared as well for someone to hopefully identify you very quickly and then hopefully get the care you need. So yeah, definitely recommend them. Very important.
The next one is, if you think it's too hot to run, go for a walk. So obviously I'm walking to the gym now. I'm crazy. Nobody copy what I'm doing. That's another bit of advice. Don't run, walk, gym every day like I seem to get a bit addicted to. But no, in all seriousness, walking is a fantastic form of exercise. I think people almost think running's better because it's more intense. It's not. It's very different. And if anyone's thinking of sort of weight loss, you actually burn just as much fat, because you don't burn fat at high intensities, you burn fat at low intensities. So you burn just as much fat if you walk for so many hours. Yes, it takes a bit longer to reach that limit than you do running, but I find walking really good fun. And I've mentioned it before on videos. You could walk today and go get an ice cream if it's hot. A cold day, you could go grab a coffee, and you don't need any of that sort of special equipment. With running, you have to get all these sort of decent trainers and all sorts. You just need an average pair of trainers that are comfortable, and like what I'm wearing now, just wear normal clothes for walking. It's cheap. You can do it with other people, or just go on your own and just enjoy nature, because it's very hard to enjoy nature when you're running around and you're hot and sweaty. So if it is a warm day, go for a walk if you really want to exercise and do some cardio. I love it. But I've noticed today I haven't got the big headphones on because they're too hot, they're too sweaty, and also in the process of that I will probably break them. I've broken so many headphones that have been in my ears from sweat, and yeah, I definitely don't recommend doing that because it gets expensive even if you buy cheap ones after a while. But yeah, these are bone conducting earphones, so essentially these don't go actually in your ear. And for anyone that does races, you're actually legally allowed to race and run in these during events. Because as I said, they don't go in your ear, but honestly, the sound quality of them is brilliant. You don't feel like you're hearing all the other noises outside over your music. It's absolutely loud and clear, and first of all, it's more safe. So obviously, if you are running and stuff, it's much easier to see around, and obviously, you don't break them as quickly. So for those two reasons, I just think they're fantastic. And as I said, I can't really walk without headphones on my own now because I get a bit bored. So if you're one of those people like me, I definitely recommend getting some bone conducting earphones. You'll feel a lot cooler because you'll get the air through the ears and save yourself money in the long run because you won't have broken headphones through sweat.
So yeah, just arrived at the gym, and that's another thing that I recommend. If it's a hot day, potentially go to the gym. They have air conditioning, normally buy the treadmills. If you did want to do a run, that's absolutely fine. If not, and it's too hot, do some weights. That's what I'm going to go do now, because need to build these muscles up. Certainly got a runner's physique, haven't I? Not a bodybuilder, nowhere near.
Just left the gym, 11:45, so yeah, it's been a long workout today from my run at 7 in the morning. So the last one, number 10, and I've said this so many times on all my videos recently, but it's listen to your body. If you feel lightheaded, if if you feel like your chest is tight, if you feel like something's aching, something's not right, that's your body telling you something. And it's always best, if you're not sure, to stop. And the one thing that's certain is, if you're in Britain, heat doesn't last very long. This is going to be very much a couple of weeks, and then we'll probably get a big storm and it'll rain all through the summer holidays, and you're not going to lose much fitness over a week or two, that's for sure. And as I said, it should just be a case of, if you're going out to do this sort of stuff, if you're going out to train and eat, you've got to enjoy it to a degree. There's no point doing anything at all if you don't enjoy it, and that's why I do it. Ultimately, I absolutely love it, and that's the main thing for me. I'm going out in the heat, I'm taking my precautions, but I'm only doing that because I love it. So listen to your body, recognise the signs of dehydration if you're low on salt, and if it's too much, there's always another day. Not gonna lie, I'm going to be on about 32,000 steps by the time I'm home, which is going to be about, well, according to my watch stats, looking at it, it's going to be over 7 or nearly 17 miles, if not more. So that's a lot. That is it for today, really. So I'm hoping that one wasn't too boring. I'm hoping for anyone that is into their fitness or considering maybe starting fitness, take some of those tips on board and find them useful as well. And as I said, there's so many other tips as well. And ultimately, you've got to judge what works for you as well. Ultimately, it's not what I think works for me, because I wouldn't necessarily recommend anyone follows my fitness guides and stuff I've done during my ultra training. So just go with what you think works for you. Try things, experiment. It never hurts to just, as I said, try different drinks, try different clothing and whatever, and just find what works for you. And I know what works for me has worked for me for a long time now, and I don't plan on changing it. It's what I enjoy doing, and I'll continue doing it, that's for sure, whether it's hot or cold. In terms of sort of next week, there will be another fitness fragrance video, so I've got a new one in mind as well for anyone that enjoys my fragrance ones. And I'm going to try and relive or try and kickstart a childhood dream again. Can I rekindle it? Can I finally achieve the dream that I set out when I was a child? And it's going to be the start of the journey of that next week. So hopefully you'll enjoy that one and join me on that series as well. But thank you very much for watching today, and I'll catch you later.